What's going on, everyone? It's Tuesday. It's March 21st, 2023. I got dismissed from jury duty before 10:30 a.m. New record. Fantastic. So we're home and we're ready to update everything for everybody. I already did NBA, did college basketball here, 4 games today, college basketball, and I did baseball so far. We'll talk about baseball. A few of these games actually have lineups in here. We'll kind of discuss as baseball is starting to get rolling, and I'll do more talk about baseball toward the end of the video. Let's start out with the 4 college basketball games. Yesterday it went 2-2. Injured San Jose State loses. All these 4 favorites, only 2 of them won. Tough college basketball here when it comes to tournament time. Everybody's playing good defense. So only goes 2-2. Odds makers and the algorithm both only go 2-2 today or yesterday. For Tuesday, we've got Southern Utah is our number 1 pick here at minus 180. That is a value pick, as we think that their line should really be minus 287. So you have Southern Utah, better strength of schedule. You've got Charlotte over Radford, only minus 164. We think that line should be minus 180. And then the other 2 are not as good, and Oregon still has these injuries up here against Wisconsin. I'm partial to going with Wisconsin here. So if you're one of those people who bets against my natural instincts, then you want to take Oregon. But Wisconsin looks like a much better pick here with those injuries, with a lot of people that I guess have kind of left Oregon for the year, or some reason that they're showing only this 53% number. Yet they seem to still be winning. So that should be an interesting game there. But the line certainly is going to be a lot better for Wisconsin, given that Oregon is minus 190. And this is a closer game down here with Oklahoma State and North Texas, with both these teams having some injuries. So that's tougher. So Southern Utah and Charlotte are looking okay up there, especially with Radford injured. Other 2 games a little more difficult. Next, NBA. Last night, NBA goes 3-3 with your injured Grizzlies at the top winning. Golden State beats Houston and runs away with it late. Sixers, Pacers, and Knicks all lose, and they should not have. So that's a miss for the algorithm. But the Jazz win as the underdog at plus 205. So I mean, it's kind of actually, I think it's a profitable day because of this. This line is okay, and this line was really good. So you probably make money, I think, hitting those 3 games, because this pays 2-1. I think so, actually. Or it's very, very close to breaking even if you took all those winners. So let's take a look at today, Tuesday. And you've got some miserable lines here for the Pelicans and the Hawks, because the Pistons are extremely injured at 54%. And so are the Spurs. So these lines are really difficult to play with, but something like Atlanta, maybe even covering this 14 points, as much as I don't like to do that, you see that big injury number on the Pistons, and they're probably going to lose by a lot. Next, you got some more reasonable lines. And as I was glancing through this, it really looks like the Wizards and the Cavaliers are your best picks here. Actually, in the Thunder, too, at plus 225. Because even though this is a close game, they're a little healthier than the Clippers, so they can win this game. So these 3 down at the bottom, straight bets on these teams are probably going to result in something profitable. And if you can hit 2 of them, you're definitely going to be profitable. And even if you hit just the Thunder, you will be profitable, because it pays more than 2-1. 2.25 is what your net profit is if you can catch the Thunder winning that game. So it looks like these 3 down here for straight bets: Wizards, Cavaliers, and Thunder when it comes to NBA on Tuesday. Now let's go over to baseball. So over the last few days here, I've really put in the time and the effort to get this thing to update a little bit quicker. And I've been doing all the roster changes, pitcher changes, and everything. So what you end up getting here is, I want to talk about like what you want to be looking at in this file to determine whether or not you're getting a reasonable prediction. First of all, important factors, because it gives you a projected score in this game and it gives you a margin. But are these numbers kind of reliable? And in spring trading, they're not going to be reliable anyway in spring training. So I wouldn't be concerned too much in spring training. If you're betting on spring training, expect to be surprised. Don't expect this to work properly. But another reason it won't work properly, other than it being spring training and the rosters really being totally flexible and new guys and minor league players trying them out, is the number of innings pitched related to these pitchers. So, like Chris Sale, he's only got 5 innings pitched in the stats that we're using from the last year. Ronel Blanco, only 6 innings pitched. 8 innings pitched for Peter Lambert from AAA. Here's Victor Medeiros, was in the A+ league. It's only 16 innings pitched. So anytime there's a really low innings pitch number, you know that you don't really know what to expect out of that pitcher because it's such a limited set of stats. So I thought Chris Sale pitched more. Did he get hurt early last year or did he get traded? Like, let's take a look. Take a look at Chris Sale's history. No, it's just 2 games pitched. I think he must have had an injury or something last year and went out early, or he came back from injury or something like that. So we almost want to look at his 2021 stats, perhaps. That's one of the things that we're going to be talking about as the season starts, is which set of pitching stats should we be using for this pitcher? And the answer is going to be probably the year where we have more stats, because anytime you're only getting 5 or 6 innings, you want to not weight the pitcher win percentage as much. You want to like bring this down to a really low number, and you want to weight the lineups more, and that's going to change the projected scores and change the margins. See how this just changed dramatically? See how this margin is actually 27% when we're weighting the pitcher win percentage, which is 0 for Chris Sale because he only had 1 decision on these 5 innings. So when we remove a lot of that factor, the margin gets a little bit more reasonable, and the score changes as well because it's related to the margin. So it becomes a complicated scenario where you want to look at each one of these games and you want your distribution to be related to the categories that have the most quality statistics. So pitcher win percentage does not work well when we don't have a lot of innings pitched. WHIP and ERA are still not going to be great because there isn't a huge sample of innings, but they're going to be a little bit more reliable than win percentages. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. So it's not time to trust the MLB algorithm yet, but as I chug away at updating this every day and updating the lineups, we're going to start to learn more. And the beginning of the MLB season historically has been a very good time for this because you'll see that we're not only looking at last year, a full set of last year's stats to help determine our projections, but we're also going to be incorporating the limited stats from 2023 and the, if a team gets off at a nice couple series at the beginning and they're hitting really well, that's going to be reflected in our stats. So we'll pick that off quicker and we'll start to adjust quicker than the lines makers adjust to different teams. So we will be tracking, and I'll be tracking today, given that I got out of jury duty early. You want the trick to getting out of jury duty is whatever question they ask you and everyone raises their hand and says no, just say yes, whatever that is. Don't lie. But if there's any way you can say yes to whatever the question is, like, have you ever worked with this company involved in this case? Oh yeah. Have you ever, do you have any problems seeing or hearing? I do. I have problems seeing. I was like, yeah, I got a cataract. I can't see anything. Like, I just raised my hand to everything and they're like, well, you're dismissed. It's like, thank you. And I'm out of here. So we're back home doing work. All right. Good luck, everybody. That's the Tuesday Sports Algorithm Podcast. In summary, baseball is something to watch and not something to rely on. College basketball, Southern Utah and Charlotte, NBA, Washington, Cleveland, and Oklahoma City. All straight bets on all those teams. You're probably going to be profitable with those 5 picks that I just mentioned, given how basketball usually is. All right, good luck, everybody. May all your picks and these 5 picks that I just mentioned all be winning.